this will probably have almost no effect whatsoever, except to, you know, make my flipper tension symmetrical. There you go. That's the word. I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Welcome back, Shenaniganders, to Whitewater, or the dialing in. Today I'm going to address the upper flipper being weak. Got a few ideas. I'm going to change the Fliptronics board, swap it out with my fishtails. I also think I'm going to swap these Opto boards just for fun. See if that makes any difference. I also have a third Opto board. I'm going to test that out. And over the years, for whatever reason, this arm has been bent out of shape. You can kind of see it's a little bit bendy. And trying to find the perfect bend where the flipper button actually triggers the Optos and has the right amount of tension. It's a bit of dialing in. So right now, like my left and right flipper, it's harder to push that in, a little easier to push that in. And I figure if I just swap these arms, this one hasn't been mangled over the years, I don't think. It looks pretty straight overall, maybe. Swap these two arms out just to try and get my symmetry of tension. Swap some Opto boards around, swap some Fliptronics boards around. See if I can get the upper flipper going. Maybe repin those connectors on the Fliptronics board. But then I just discovered that one of my bulbs was out. So I messed with it quite a bunch. And, you know, first thing I did was check the bulb. Then I checked the socket. I try and jumper power from the other socket. But that wasn't illuminating my LED. So I pulled out my LED, which I think, is this the LED? Let's see. Sorry, let's try not to do too much motion sickness going on here. Okay, steady the camera. See, there it is. Does not work, okay? So I went and tested this LED, like so, and it works. So what does that mean? It means connector, wiring, or socket. So I grabbed a new socket, and I soldered on a diode, and pop in this LED. Does not work. So then I go find the connectors in the back box. I reseat those, push all the wires into the IDC connectors. That doesn't seem to work. I look again, I check the switch, the lamp matrix. I'm checking all the other lights in the row and the other lights in the column, seeing if anything else is out. Nothing is out, so it's gotta be somewhere here. So I took an incandescent bulb and stuck it in this socket here, my test socket. And what do you know, incandescent is working. Then I stick it in here. Hey, what do you know, my friggin' socket is working and the wiring is working. So we can remove this. Okay, so everything's good. Here we are. Nope, the LED does not work in the socket, but it works in my little tester. So it's like, all right, guess I'll try a different LED. Same source. And voila, there it is. Problem solved. Apparently, this is my guess. This is the only thing I can think of. Is that this is a non-ghosting LED. I think this is supposed to be from the Drapple store. Oh, there it is. Oh, I just dropped it, but yeah. Non-ghosting LED from the Drapple store with a built-in resistor. So all I can think of is that maybe the resistor inside of it died. And that's why it just kind of works on a standalone isolated circuit, but doesn't work in the switch matrix. That doesn't make any sense though, really, because even if it is non-ghosting, it should work just fine. So figure that one out. Don't you love chasing your tail when an LED works in one spot but not in another? Like, yeah, that was a tail chaser for sure. So, yeah, put that one in the back burner next time you have a LED that's not working. Anyway, problem solved. We're gonna move on to the flipper, swap some crap around and see what happens. All right, so I'm just cleaning up Opto boards and rubbing alcohol, reflowing Optos, testing Optos. Couple notes. In order for one Opto board to work and test, both have to be plugged in. But if you don't have the Opto interrupters installed, both your flippers just stay up when you turn on the machine. So it's fun to test. But yeah, so, and also, this is a first. My Opto shell casing here just kind of popped off, so I'll just crazy glue that back on. But that's the inside of your Opto right there. Little transmitter and receiver. So I did clean those too. Anyway, this will probably have almost no effect whatsoever, except to you know, make my flipper tension symmetrical. There you go, that's the word. All right, so little crazy glue should do that one up. All right, so I adjusted the position of my flipper board yet once again, because the way I had it before was the right angle, but the little button of the flipper was just barely on the edge of the actuator arm, so I was not happy about it at all. So drilled yet another 2 holes, so we got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 holes now. A few of which I'm responsible for. These are potentially the original holes, at least one of them is, for when the flipper board used to be on this side and it got changed in its life. So the other things you want to make sure upon adjusting this multiple times. The first time I wasn't happy because the blade here, there was actually a little gap, and so that did not feel good when you're hitting the flipper button, and you don't want a little gap there of space before you hit the arm and push it forward. It just doesn't feel good, it's not symmetrical, and also your alignment for the Opto arm is not correct either. So the other thing when adjusting these, you kind of want to make sure that this arm here is not resting like out a bit, because that's just not going to operate correctly. And in this case it was out a smidge, but I just got a text there from an old buddy of mine, asking who my electronics guy is. Well, that is Brent Butler, and I'll forward that information. Something about a soundboard for a machine of some sort. But yeah, so this was out a little bit, and I adjusted and tweaked it so that it was nice and resting just so. So that alignment and adjustment, you got the flipper button touching the arm there, and the arm is just resting at the edge of the Opto. So in theory, see how that arm clears those Optos nicely? That should be a nice clean flip. 2 Optos, 2 flippers, and even though there's 2 Optos and only 1 flipper on this side, both want to work. If one doesn't work, you will get a credit dot. So I think the way things are feeling right now is that nice and symmetrical. Whether that changes anything in terms of my upper flipper, I doubt, but in the mix mash of everything I did there, I kind of lost track of what went where, but I'm pretty sure that this Opto board is not the one that was there before. And I think this one might be the one that I pulled out and cleaned. I reflowed Optos on both. So I highly suspect, like I said, it's not going to fix anything with the upper Opto, but that should be good for what it is and what I want, at least. And it does potentially rule out the Opto board, which I never suspected, but hey, why not? Rule out everything. All right, so I popped in the Opto boards, and I'm happy to say, but what? Why are you doing that to me? You're not supposed to do a full plunge, but okay, so my point is that both bottom flippers, they're working as they should. Nice clean flips. I'm not, getting any kind of sloppiness, or it's not flipping too early, not flipping too late. You press the buttons in roughly equal amount, same tension. I'm super happy right now with the bottom flippers. I know that's loud and obnoxious. On a side note, I don't know if this is anything to do with what I did, or just because, basically this is first game and it's a fresh game. But, whoa, sorry. My upper flipper apparently seems to be very happy and snappy right now. But, like I said, it could be just because it's the first game. But let me show you here. You see how much oomph that had? I don't think I've ever seen that much oomph before. That was just because it wasn't a clean hit. That, like, launched around the corner there. Like, very, very interesting. I really would love to believe that it's because the issue is resolved, but I'm going to be very skeptical until I know after like 20 games that it works perfectly. But let's try a couple more. That is the best the flipper has ever worked yet. But again, I've never really tested it right at the beginning of the game multiple times, so fingers crossed. I'll play some test games and see. But that would be nice, not having to swap the Fliptronics boards, repin the connectors. Who knows? I'll keep you posted though. Alright, I decided to have a look at this kick out here because, apparently the ball will have some bottom spin because it's on a nice shiny surface and stall up there, and these rubbers are supposed to kind of help that stall not happen. So I am throwing the ball up there, just kind of checking things out. Oh, did I just start with the ball? No, okay. See how that just launched forward, no problem whatsoever? I don't know that the ball is actually hitting those rubbers whatsoever, but that did not have any stallage. There, see that had a little bit of backspin there? But I'm not really thinking that the ball is actually hitting those rubbers at all. I mean, I guess I could run it in slow motion, but I'm not really concerned about it. I was thinking, do I want to add a couple more rubbers? That's what my thought process was here. But, oh yeah, there was some good backspin on that one. So it just caused a little bit of a delay for it to get to your upper flipper, which is not really the end of the world. It's not probably the way it originally was when it just hit wood. I mean, on a nice shiny diamond plate clear coat, you would think that the ball might catch a little bit of backspin, just as much as it might on a shiny metal surface. Maybe not quite as much after it's been dented over the years. See, that one almost looked like it had forward spin, like maybe the ball, sorry, on the way down clipped this rubber, causing forward momentum. So maybe that's the trick. I should add another rubber right here, and if the ball on the way down, oh yes, catches that back rubber, it would cause forward momentum. So maybe I'll throw one more rubber there just for fun, but that's like the real fine-tuned dialing in that I'm talking about here. But that's okay. That's I gotta do something while I wait for my parts to arrive. Oh, on a side note, alright, before we get to the side note, let's see if I can install this rubber here. I kind of feel like it was a bit of a waste to use these nice clear rubbers from my little kit on that, but Oh well, too late now. Yeah, so that's done. Now, let's get to the side note. Side note time. My order from Mantis Amusements has arrived. All right, let's take a look at these guys. Voila, white water. Well, it looks like, it sounds like I hear screws. Okay. Ooh, those are little baby screws. Wow. Really? But look at these guys. Oh yeah. Those are nice and beefy. So they'll go orient like this. They'll cover up the front of those ramps, the top of the ramps, and the switch goes through there. But I don't know about these little baby screws. Like the ones I have in there now are longer than that, and we're actually adding, you know, 1/8 of an inch of length. So we want to go longer more than we want to go shorter. But yeah, I don't think I can really dry fit them in there to see what they'd look like, but we can kind of pretend. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so my buddy was messaging about, it's Jason Arnold, by the way. Shout out, I know you don't watch, but J. Arnold. We go back like friggin', how old am I now? 47. So at least 20 years. But yeah, so here we go. Isn't that gonna be pretty? It's basically gonna cover up all that. Huh, does that slip under that bracket? Is this gonna be in the way of this bracket or this bracket? We won't know until we get right in there, but that's some good beefiness that's gonna go right there. But I also ordered like beefier, see the back of these switches here? They're just flat. I got the reinforced ones that are L-shaped. I might have fun trying to fit all this together with this and the L-shaped bracket, getting all that to come through the hole. I know someone else said they had trouble, but they were able to get reinforced switches and the Mantis protectors on. I think I'll be fighting with that. But I'm not going to try and install these until I've got my reinforced switch backs from Marco, which was placed, I think, yesterday from my buddy Russell. Shout out. Another local pinball shenanigander. Yeah, so, and also I don't want to be removing these screws and installing them and removing them and installing them, because eventually I'll just strip out the holes I reinforced. So the goal is to remove them once more, install the Mantis protectors and the reinforced switches, and be done with it. So I still got to wait for that though. Okay, I thought I would just show you this. Did a couple play testing balls, and check out the feed here to the upper flipper shot. Let's see if it actually works for me here. So there's a little bit of a delay there, tiniest little millisecond, but try one more time. Okay, I missed both on that, but I'll do one more. What happened there? Oh, okay. Did I discover some other issue? Where the heck did the ball go? Okay, so my whole thing I wanted to show you. Oh, there it is. It was just, okay. It was on a few shots there in a row. The ball fed out there with very minimal. You're not in there. Okay. The machine got tricked into thinking there was a ball in there, but I don't know. It got confused there when the ball got stuck. Anyway, ball was feeding nicely. Ball was flipping nicely. I was going to show you that. The first attempt was kind of the best one there, but that's actually so far so good. Fingers crossed. All right, this was my current to-do list, and it is basically down to this. I don't know, I played a test game or two, and that upper flipper is flipping the best I've ever seen it. I can see why that switch bracket was getting mashed now that it's flipping temporarily right. And hopefully it stays that way. But I'm not going to keep it on the list if it is currently working. So the one time my CPU didn't boot up and I reseated the connectors, and it hasn't happened since. And then the right green target sometimes doesn't register, but I think that's just because they're fresh flippers and the ball just launches at them like crazy, and just too quick of a hit. So, you know what? I know the switch works. I've done it in switch tests, so I think that's just, it is what it is. So really, I think my to-do list is done. All that's really left now was just play testing and making sure there's no other gremlins or issues that I find. I guess we're at a crossroads here. The last thing, there will be another episode. Probably I might wait till, well, I don't know, till I get all my mods and then uninstall them all at once or something like that. We'll see. But yeah, we're getting near the finish line. Oh, also, I ended up ordering white cabinet protectors today too. Kevin Graisley, shout out, is doing an order at Eddie Durazio's, shout out, Drapple Store, pinballleds.ca, and I hijacked his order and ordered some LEDs and the white cabinet protectors. So I think I'm just going to like the white better, and I'll use the yellow on something else. But yeah, so once I get all my other crap, I'll install all that, and I guess there will be another video eventually. But this was a short one because I guess my to-do list is pretty much done, which is friggin' amazing. Here we are at pretty much the end of the Whitewater series. Not until all the mods are installed, though, technically. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked. If that upper flipper hangs in there, then I'll be one happy camper. You can have an occasional switch not register. I can live with that. But the flippers are the meat and potatoes of the pinball machine. They friggin' gotta work. And I'm so pleased with the symmetry, the alignment, just everything. They're flipping great right now. They're flipping great. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. This is a short one, but hey, problems have been resolved. Oh wait, one last thing I can do. See the DMD reflecting on the glass right there? Let's resolve that. There we go. That'll be a little less glare and a little better for playing. Oh yeah.